Welcome to Building Your T-Shirt Empire, powered by ShirtAgency.com. Get ready to take a trip inside the apparel industry for the best tips, tricks, and interviews. And now, here's your host, Cole Lundstrom.
Hello. So this week I have two absolute T-shirt marketing geniuses. Jordan and Ross have been selling hundreds of thousands of T-shirts online, and they're going to absolutely blow you away with all their tips and tricks. I'm hoping to have them back a little bit later in the year to go into detail, but in this episode, it's a wonderful overview of all of the different platforms they employ. So, without taking up too much time in the beginning, hey guys, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so my name's Jordan Lamb. Our business is eastcoastcotton.com. My main role is Facebook marketing, specifically Facebook advertising.
Yeah, cool. So my name is Ross Carroll, and I've been in marketing and software creation, basically online stuff for years and years and years. And together we started a T-shirt company from our background of selling T-shirts online. And I've been in doing T-shirts for a long time as well. Prior to that, did some on-demand stuff, and then eventually opened our own shop. So that's the shop we're at right now. Yeah. Jordan and I are partners, and he runs a lot of the advertising, and I run a lot of the production, doing that kind of stuff now. So together we also do some marketing training and things like that.
Yeah.
So we have a website, Killer Cotton Media, if you want to learn some more. So we're well deep into online marketing, done over $500,000 in paid advertising this year alone. So we know our stuff, and we're excited to get into this podcast today.
Awesome. Well, my first question for you guys is, how did you get into the apparel industry? Did you start with Teespring?
Yeah, it actually came on with the print-on-demand platforms such as Teespring, which is where we both got started. And that's what both actually brought us together.
Yeah, so actually I started a long time before that. Back in the day when you could get Google rankings, had a number one e-com store, number one ranking for fishing shirts. And I used to do heat transfers. So I hooked up with the local supplier, Alpha Broder, and was printing. Tampa Bay area has a lot of these transfer companies, Global Impressions and things like that. And I was buying those and selling them through the website online, and then just heat press them when I got an order and ship them out, kind of a college business. Let it go for many years after that as I was finishing schooling. Then got into sort of the Teespring thing like Jordan was talking about when Facebook advertising sort of initially took off.
Right.
So that's actually how we got started. And then once we hooked up together, I recalled my days of actually having to print the shirts locally. I still had my account and everything, so we started buying shirts and then using some of the local printers. And then when those weren't good enough, we basically decided to open our own shop.
Wow, that's fantastic. How big is your shop right now?
We have two warehouses, 5,000 square foot each. One is for shipping, and one is for production and sort of our office.
So what are you guys using as your main platform for advertising? Is Facebook your go-to?
Always Facebook, yeah. Facebook is just it's got such a low barrier point to entry. It's cheap. There's so much information out about how to get started. It's just a really good starting point to actually making some money online, especially when selling T-shirts.
Yeah, for sure. And back in the day, like I said, Google, you could just pop up a website and get some rankings, throw some keywords on there. It changed. You can't do that anymore. And then even their ad platform really doesn't have the same data.
Yeah.
So we're really getting interested in Instagram lately. A lot of e-com brands are doing well with that. Some really big companies I've spoken with and met with. YouTube as well. We just haven't got there yet as deeply as we want to. I know, for example, I spoke with Ryan before, and he really hit it off with YouTube, and that's his. So it's definitely a great platform, but our personal favorite is Facebook.
Yeah.
What tips do you have for someone who's starting out on Facebook and they really just know nothing?
I mean, there's so much information out there already on YouTube. There's plenty of places you can find some tips to get started. It can go from beginner to very advanced, but just get out there, start playing about with it, and see what can come of it. That's how I started the first year, was just mucking around with the advertising platform, and soon got some sales.
Yeah, I would offer some pitfalls to avoid for sure. Definitely recommend just trying it out, but keep low budgets. Don't ramp your budgets up.
Yep.
The first mistake I ever made was I got some results and I was really excited. So I pretty much tripled my budget. And within 20 minutes, I burned through about $500 or $600, and I learned to never do that again. So go slow. Take your time. Don't get too excited when you get some results. You really need to monitor this stuff and know what you're doing, in the sense that you can't just throw money at it constantly and hope it.
But the great thing is you can get started for as little as $5.
Yeah, exactly. Really, and that's the best way to do it. Is throw a budget of $5 a day or something, or $10 a day, and start trying some of these things and see what happens. You know, and that's the beauty of it. You can really tap into any market in the next 10 minutes. Facebook has data on every kind of passion, hobby, niche you can think of. So also big image ads, I would say. Right.
Yeah, well, mainly just image ads we've been using. I mean, video ads are quite hot right now. They've just introduced a new image size, 1200 by 1650, which is working pretty well for us so far. It takes up a lot of the news feed, so it gives a lot of time for the customer to actually stick onto what you're trying to sell them.
And big product shots, make sure, because a lot of people buy from mobile these days, and in fact, the majority. So you want a big product shot on your image. So it's very visible. We actually over enlarge our images so that you can really see what's on the shirt.
But we also keep them very simple. We keep them plain white background, just plain, black T-shirt to present the image. We actually found less conversions with using an actual model wearing the T-shirt.
So you basically just have a floating T-shirt on a white background?
It just stands out. It really pops to the customer. It grabs their attention, keeps them, engaged on what you're trying to sell them.
And what is your text like? Does it have a blatant call to action, or do you use silly jokes?
We keep it really simple.
We do this at scale, so we've done a lot of that stuff before. But at the volume we do, it's just easier to put as simple as possible. Call to actions for sure help. If you only got a few ads out there, you want to really put as much effort into it.
Yeah.
But for us, we want to get it out there often, and make it visual. Yeah. We want to focus on the visual product aspect.
Well, luckily T-shirts are very visual, so that's the whole idea. It catches their attention just from the design.
What about carousel ads? Are you using those, or are you sticking to a single image?
Yeah, we use carousel ads for our retargeting.
If they come to the site, we're going to chase them around the internet, and they'll actually see more of our product because they were obviously interested. They clicked through. Yeah. And now they're going to get a chance to see some more through some of these carousel.
But that's the beauty. You can actually, if they came in on one T-shirt, say they're interested in dogs, they can now get presented with our whole collection of dog T-shirts. So if they didn't like the first one, they've still got the whole collection to go through. So carousel ads work really well with that, actually.
So what is your funnel strategy? Are you doing individual landing pages that then give you an email list, or is it all just a standalone Shopify?
Yeah, so we've been working on that a lot lately to expand sort of the sales and the funnel side of things, or the back end. We have a collection of emails for abandoned cart. We have the buyer emails, obviously. And what we're basically trying to do is have good email sequences to follow up with non-customers and customers. So say somebody comes and goes to the store, doesn't buy, we can still remarket through email to them because they've entered their email, got to that part of the cart. And that works great. We make a bunch of sales from email. We're working on, there's some new software that just released that allows us to do single product with full sales funnels behind it. So they can buy one, and then we offer them a lot of additional things.
And that's actually within our Shopify store. Yeah. So it keeps it all in one central hub.
That's cool. So you're doing upsells on your T-shirt sales.
Yeah, with different products, and even additional shirts or bundles
or hoodies or
boxes, like recurring. Yeah, right now we've been working on it this week. So there's a new app for our e-commerce platform that just released. So we literally set that up Monday. I think that's when it launched.
Monday, yeah, sure.
We've done similar tests with other things. It's just the integrations were a little more technically complex.
And it was actually outside of our Shopify store platform. So,
but we've done tests on that, and that stuff works really great. And in fact, sometimes sending to a giant store is not the most effective way. You really want to.
There's technically too many distractions on a big giant store, whereas a funnel page is kind of simple, clean, straight to the point. You want them to buy the T-shirt, which defaults to increasing your conversion rate.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes having too many choices, or most of the time in marketing, having too many choices kind of short circuits the buyer, and they end up not buying.
That's awesome. It's like a ClickFunnels, but for Shopify. So if you had to start over and you had none of your infrastructure and you were just given $1,000 and a laptop, how would you spend the money and get started again?
Well, for me, I'd start with drop shipping. You could set up a Shopify store, and I actually did this one day for a fun test. Set up a Shopify store, load it up with different dropship products, and
or even print on demand,
or print on demand shirts, whatever, and started to run some ads, and basically took a brand new store from 0 to 60,000 the first month in sales.
Wow, what was your ad spend on that?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you right now, but generally ad spend is 25, 20, 30%, somewhere in that range.
We like to say the 25%, but it's sometimes around 30, 35%.
Yeah, that's great. If you have a healthy margin, then that's a great business.
And especially with dropship, you can load it up and start selling immediately, or even the on-demand stuff. And literally your main focus is getting the customer there.
What have you learned about targeting? Who do you think are the most responsive demographics?
Females for sure.
Females, absolutely. Yeah, they love to buy. Whereas women, they love to buy.
I don't mean to be,
sexist.
but for sure we've seen that as a big trend online, especially Facebook.
But as far as actual targeting, we like to go pretty broad.
Yeah, sometimes if you get too specific on your stuff, you kind of reach the whole entire audience too fast.
Yeah. We like to have big scalable campaigns. We can spend a bunch of money and reach a couple million people. And the great thing as well now is Facebook's so advanced with its pixel data that they can kind of pinpoint and show the ads to the right people that are actually going to purchase your items based on your previous data, your previous buyers.
So then how are you split testing your data and your ads? Are you just sending the same list, new products over and over?
Yeah, we're not really... we've tried split testing in different ways. We've tried like splitting down per age group. The only really split test we do now is like different ad images. But we generally keep it quite broad. If a t-shirt doesn't work, maybe we'll redesign it and send it to the same audience. Maybe we'll test some different interests with that targeting.
And when you do this enough, you start to see sort of click-through numbers and frequency numbers. So if they're seeing your ad too much, if your target ad is just way below a normal range of cost per click or CPM or click-through ratio, then there's no point splitting it. You just know you need to do a different ad or start over, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. Splitting ads up too much via age, male, female, I find it kind of confuses the new Facebook pixel. We've just generally seen better results just by doing broad ads, keeping everyone together and letting Facebook's pixel do the work.
So when you're looking at that data, what metrics do you go on? Are you looking at cost per click, or is it just the final conversions that are your metric? We've seen in some of our campaigns a ton of clicks, and they actually made less sales than the ones that we were running simultaneously.
If you've got a ton of clicks and it looks like all your other data is good, you've got a good relevance score, you're getting great CTR, it's generally to do with your design. If that happens, we would probably do a redesign and test it to the same audience with the same setup and see if it makes a difference. We found the customers are very picky about what designs they actually purchase. So they might like the idea of the design.
Yeah, for sure.
But, it might not be right for them. They don't like the actual way it looks. They might relate with the slogan, or, it might relate back to them. But
yeah, we had a simple one, and we sold something like 10,000 units of it, and we did a redesign of it, and it just flopped. We sold maybe 100 or something.
Yeah, hardly anything.
And it was basically the same audience, same concept. It just, if your audience is there and they're interested, they're going to be clicking. But our final metric really is cost to revenue.
Right.
Like you're asking, we want to keep that ad cost down to ideally 20%. And if we're not hitting those numbers, even if we're getting all the clicks in the world, we need to scrap it or at least lower the budget.
Yeah.
What do you do to manage all the design changes? Do you have an in-house graphic designer, or are you outsourcing that online?
We started with a lot of different designers. We actually advertised locally and had a lot of weird people show up.
Yeah.
Haven't had much luck with that, but I've got a lot of experience from my software company and working with people all over the world. So we actually have designers overseas that work with us full time that now know everything. They know how to split up the AI files and the layers.
They're extremely familiar with the process.
Yeah. Pretty local if we could. We just haven't found some good.
That'd be the only downfall of having someone outsource is the time zones, and having that constant communication is a little tough.
Yeah, I can totally see that happening. Some of the people that we've dealt with here in LA are really talented at just their style, so it becomes pretty difficult to make corrections, and they become a little too artsy about it.
It's funny you say that. A lot of the people that came in, we had the same issue. They were very stuck in their ways. Like, some guy wanted to draw everything out very particular on paper before he puts it into Photoshop, and it was not the kind of thing we were looking for as far as scalable designs.
Yeah, totally. And how many designs do you guys have in your arsenal now? Is it 1,000+ designs?
I would say so.
Yeah, but we kill a lot of them because it's really about testing. So when you say A/B testing, it's not so much A/B for us in the ads. It's more design testing, and we're just looking for that interaction. And when we find a good audience, we're going to hit them with something until they really love the design itself.
We try and aim for 10 designs a day, and maybe 2 or 3 of them will take off. Maybe one of them will be a real hot seller.
Is all of this coming out of your main Facebook page, or do you have individual audience-themed pages that you're managing?
It's a strategy I know a lot of people use in what we're doing. We haven't. We've just come out of our main brand page. Maybe that's something we need to test.
Yeah, when we started with the whole on-demand platforms, we did it through individual pages. But now that we actually have a shop and we're doing a lot of this ourselves, we're trying to build that brand. We're trying to get as much exposure of that brand as possible. Turn it into a next Cafe Press or a real international brand. Yeah, because at the scale we're at, if we're trying to manage 100 different pages in 100 different markets, it's just going to be too much to stay on top of for the return. Yeah. But if you're starting out, it's not such a big deal, and it's probably going to be more effective.
So do you think that on-demand systems are the future, or do you prefer to do big bulk orders just for your own sanity in the shop?
We do a hybrid, so we actually still love on-demand. There's products that we don't really want to get into. They're just too much of, having been in the industry, I'm sure you can relate. There's some stuff you just don't want to print. It's just too much of a hassle. Small quantity stuff, certain products that are difficult or inconsistent in printing. So all those, we'd love to keep selling it. Let the professionals do it. Let's take our cut on the stuff that we know, the big volume stuff, and
we can use the t-shirts. Because we've got the potential and we've got great margins because we're actually printing the stuff ourselves. We can use them t-shirts as entry points, like what we're doing with the funnels, to lead up to more expensive products, or to diversify a bit and make more on the back end.
Thanks again for stopping by. My last question is, what would you say to somebody who is just starting out? What's your last piece of advice?
Just start. Just get out there, try and grab as much training as possible. I mean, there's loads of stuff out there. Yeah, just jump on. Don't be afraid. And, it's like what Ross was saying earlier, start small with the money. Don't go too crazy and just spend too much, but test here and there, and you'll quickly pick up what's working, what's not.
I would say if you're looking to do something on Facebook in particular, find an audience first. And the audience is where your money's going to be, not necessarily the product. There's a million products for every market.
Right.
Find the audience. Go like a lot of the pages those people are liking. Find other fan pages. And just do a little bit of studying to see kind of what they're into, what they're buying, what they're talking about. And then focus on what part of that market you're going to speak to. And the more directly you can speak to a market, the better off you're going to be.
Right.
So with on-demand, you can really have customized stuff for a very particular group of people. So, somebody who, a crazy example would be, and I think we've sold this shirt, I just want to drink wine and pet my cat or something. It's very specific. You got people who like wine, people who like cats.
How did you know me so well?
Yeah, and you're going to be able to give them exactly what they want with an on-demand product, and you're going to make sales. The audience may be tiny, but you're going to be able to get started. You're going to be able to make some sales hitting a very particular audience that you know exactly what they're into. You can go like wine pages, find the most popular wines. You can go find cats and see.
100%. Pick a market, learn the market, read the magazines, go find websites, learn everything you can. to get started in that market, to find out what they want.
And then they're there. The products are everywhere. There's a zillion products of all different kinds. You got computer cases and phone cases and mugs and shirts, and it's endless. But if you can't understand the market itself, you'll never be able to speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody who wants to know more about marketing, they should go to killercottonmedia.com, right?
Yeah, so we got a sign-up form there. What we're going to be doing with that is just sending out an email every once in a while. We're not going to bug you. We're not going to blast your email every day. Just when we got something cool going on, news in the industry, Facebook
just some
updates,
training, some updates.
And stuff like that. We're going to send it your way. Doesn't cost anything, but we're happy to share some of our knowledge we've learned over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody needs tips and tricks, no matter how long they've been doing it, just to stay on top of the game.
Oh, yeah. Us ourselves, we're always learning new things every day. We always keep our eyes and ears out for the next best thing as far as the Facebook advertising and anything else. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much. You threw a lot of really great information at us. I think it was a really good episode.
Cool, man. Happy to be here. Anytime.
Talk to you later.
All right, Carl.
You too.
Have a good one. Appreciate it.
See ya. That concludes our episode. Thanks again to Ross and Jordan for all the great info. So, a little bit of news. We only have 8 tickets left for the March 25th and 26th screen printing class. We're going to be teaming up with Ryonet to do it again, and we're going to teach you guys how to go from absolute beginner who's never printed a t-shirt all the way to starting your first business. Once again, the dates are March 25th and 26th, and if you're interested, head to screenprinting.com, click the Learn button, and sign up for the Los Angeles class. It's going to be held here at Shirt Agency, and I hope to see you. All right, guys, have a great week. Bye.